Well, hey everybody, it's me, Jermaine, and I'm back with another Simple Truth update. And I'm about to do it again. I'm gonna name this installment of the Simple Truth update, I'm gonna call this Forced Compliance Part 2. So, if you haven't seen what I talked about in the first half, you can always go back to the Simple Truth archives and you can pick up where I left off. But today, what I want to talk to you about is that I was talking to you before in part 1 about how this alternative lifestyle of today is doing everything in its power to force people to accept something that they either know biblically, spiritually, or just morally as being incomprehensive and just vile. Sorry, vile, not file, vile. So here we go. Now it's another example of this behavior, of this forced compliance, is it was mainly put, this past weekend was the NBA All-Star Weekend. And if you just follow the NBA just a little bit, now the NBA All-Star Weekend was in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the only reason why it was in New Orleans, Louisiana is because it was moved abruptly because a bill that was introduced in the original host city, which was Charlotte, North Carolina, where they had a House bill, I think it's House Bill number 2, and you can go and do your research about it, but basically they took a stand in North Carolina that, you know, bathrooms for gender-specific people would be upheld. There wasn't going to be, you know, just one bathroom and anyone could come in there. And I ask anyone, especially those of us who have children and grandchildren, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with keeping a bathroom specific to the gender of the person? However, this alternative lifestyle community got in all uproar about it and made a big, huge stink. And the NBA basically told the state of North Carolina, but in particular, the city of Charlotte, that if you did not change this, we're going to take our money and go elsewhere. Remember, I told you before that this movement, I've said this many times, you haven't just heard it from me, you've heard it from Pastor Dow, you've heard it from many others that are spiritually sound, that this LGBT, this alternative lifestyle, it masquerades itself as being very loving and very, all inclusive, and it's important to be able to respect everybody. But it is very militant, and it only wants you to respect what it does. It does not respect if you do not adhere to that way of life. It does not, there's no love then. Then it becomes an outright attack. So I digress, but let me share with you. The commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, has basically put an edict out and said that for future host cities, for NBA All-Star games, that due to a similar law in Texas, as well as the law that is currently on the books in North Carolina, that they will keep their eye on these situations in choosing cities to be a part of their league's all-star game. And the reason that's important is because those type of games, they generate a lot of revenue for the city that hosts them. And so, with that being said, it just goes to show you that now they are beginning to wield their power, those that are sympathizers with this alternative lifestyle, and those that are in power positions that are a part of these lifestyle movements, they are basically saying that we are going to financially now they have the power of the court to make people accept it from what they call a legal perspective. But now what we're going to do is we're going to impact economically you and all of those that have anything to do with being against us. Again, forced compliance. We are going to make you accept something that you choose and have all the right to choose to not accept or to accept. But because you choose not to accept it, we're going to do everything in our collective power to force you and make you accept it, whether you like it or not. See, that's the key thing. And now the NFL is considering the same type of posture when it comes to what cities will be able to host the Super Bowl. See, ladies and gentlemen, for those of us who have a degree of morality, for those of us who have a degree of just right and wrong, and I know morality falls into that category as well, but because we are choosing to stand up and say, hey, we're not going to do that, or we don't accept that, there is going to be a price to pay. This has been the simple truth. And as I always tell you, it's the simple things that are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll be sure to see you, and you again on another episode real soon.